Well, at least Byron is familiar with failure. That's what matters the most.
What's the
Yeah,
saying?
well,
10
he
no's and a
loses a
yes
lot
is
of
still a
battles.
yes.
He usually wins the war, though. All right, we'll try this one. We'll try, what is it? He's got 9 dice. So let's see if he gets 5 successes, just
What,
for shiggles.
what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to, like I said before, but he didn't get it. It doesn't look like. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, come on, check the list again. I'm on there, right?
Using one of your dominate powers.
You, say, I'm not sure whether you'd be free from distraction anyway, considering the loud and raucous environment in which you're in.
It depends. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a judgment call. I always figured it meant that, you weren't trying to defend yourself. Or, I mean, if someone's pushing and shoving me or yelling at me or something, no. But I
Oh
don't.
yeah, that's definitely happening. What with all the shouting as Byron struts like a peacock, to the front, like, yeah, I'm on the list. Just go ahead and check, man. Yeah. Nope. They no-sold you.
All right, fine. Then Byron will shrug and go back in line. Then I guess he'll wait.
All right, Joseph, you arrive at the Lucky Ace. Being as awesome as you are with your Malkavian hacks. Taking a look at the establishment as my prior word descriptors, it looks like a small, well-to-do establishment, and judging by how it was built and the whole sort of architecture of it, looks like it's something from the Roaring Twenties. There's a neon sign out that displays Lucky Ace in white, and you have like poker chips flying along the side, and then a little bit of neon. Friday night, which is ladies' night, which means their drinks are half price. Off in the back of a very long line, there's apparently Byron Rand standing.
Well,
He's just Rand standing.
he can't help Byron, so he'll just walk in invisibly.
Yep. Joseph Chung has no difficulty walking in. He can easily make sure that his passage sneaks in along with a group of girls as the doors are open and everything, and Joseph Chung gets in just fine. Inside the establishment is rather packed. It's a pretty happening place. The music that was playing outside is more of a classic setting rather than what's currently being played on the radio. It's not contemporary, and dance floor is full of people. It looks as nicely decorated and furnished on the outside as it inside as it does on the outside.
Well, then he's going to start looking around and trying to figure out why this place was interesting.
Joseph doesn't inherently know. I mean, certainly there are interesting moments where you have people, maybe like some sort of tour thing, heads down to the basement. There's apparently like some sort of swivel, like apparently a coat rack that was attached to the wall. Apparently it could be twisted 45 degrees to the right, and a panel on the wall slides open, revealing a passage. Listening to all the various gossip and gab, which includes some in languages that Joseph doesn't understand. Apparently this used to be an old speakeasy, and it has all sorts of secret passages and pathways, and even the bar counter itself could flip over, and there's a sort of apparently like a gutter down there to guide all the alcohol and the glass bottles and what have you to some sort of trash area where the police making a raid wouldn't be able to see. The front door itself has, it's still like the old style door, where it has like the sort of the slide view where you pull it open so that you could peer out.
Well, all of that's interesting, but it's not why someone would be interested in it from a coterie. So going to just be listening to the people and doing that. It would be if it was in Astoria. He'd think maybe that's why I'm looking into it, but it's not. It's in Manhattan, and I don't, well, unless they're really keeping something from him. He doesn't think anyone's looking to buy it out in Manhattan, buy out territory in Manhattan.
All right. It takes so yeah. Oh, I just had this great thought. I was about to ask how patient is Byron Rand, and then I remembered how patient Byron is.
Not very. I mean, basically, I don't know. A half hour is going to go by. He's going to.
Yep.
One thing I was going to do is he's going to be waiting to see if he sees Edward coming in or out.
So he doesn't see that. The line is making slow progress. I'd say after a half hour, give me a willpower roll, difficulty 4. It's only been a half hour. I mean, you get to roll 9 dice for it. Yeah, Byron's fine. It's just, perhaps still a little put out about the fact that his tactics did not succeed. The crowd was jeering at him. That's just it. It was just, you weren't allowed to work in, your preferred work environment. Your sire didn't teach you how to fuck with someone's head whenever a bunch of people were booing and hissing and jeering at you and calling you evil names.
Yeah. It's. I wonder. Well, I was about to say I wonder if there's a definite definition of what that is, but this is White Wolf, so never mind.
I was about to say, what game system are we playing?
Yeah, because I've seen that. It's just like, well, free from distraction. I'm like, does that mean you don't have a hangnail, or does it mean someone's trying to shoot you in the head? I mean, there's a big gray area there.
I know. It's just like, this isn't GURPS. We don't have a toolkit here. We have to make it up as we go. All in all, it takes Byron about 50 minutes, but eventually he is able to get inside the very packed and very happening and exciting Lucky Ace Club. Woo!
Man, that was pretty fast. I was, not to jinx it, but I've tried to get into clubs like that, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 hours. If it's
Sometimes it does, but apparently people just, they were moving in and out, thankfully. Maybe it was just a lucky night for Byron Rand.
Lucky
Fantastic.
Night, lucky ace.
Lucky night of the Lucky A's. In which case, Joseph will, in the midst of the massive crowd, we'll see Byron, walking in.
And start following him.
Say that again?
And start following him. Although you don't realize
you've been
that.
obfuscated the
This
whole
is going to
time?
be so interesting for him.
Yeah. Looking through all the crowd, I mean, it's really hard to make out people. It doesn't look like Edward's here.
That's okay. Byron will move around and basically go to the ladies and talk them up and see if he can get an idea of. I mean, this is Friday night, so it's probably a different crowd. But maybe someone's here that's actually from City Hall again, and he will definitely make the rounds and try to. Just ask them a little bit about themselves. That's not too hard. People love to talk about what
That's
they
right.
do.
It's possible that this just isn't, that maybe Friday night, ladies' night, isn't city functionary night. And talking about stuff like City Hall and those stuffy suits is uncool, man. That's the vibe that Byron gets. I mean, certainly, he has an enchanting voice, and Byron's suave and smooth, and he's confident, he's capable in sort of like a verbal arena. It's just the sense that, anyone who's here, the last thing on their mind is some sort of functionary or lobbyist from City Hall. At least the people he's talking to. The ladies are here to dance.
Yeah, he's not even saying what he does. He doesn't care.
Right.
It's, yeah, I mean, once he does that, once he figures that out, which won't take very many people, I guess he'll just make the rounds and make small talk with people, talk about the president, his indiscretions, and anything else that's topical that they want to talk about, and just kind of see what's going on. And I guess you said these were like upper middle class types, is what you were saying?
Yeah, you're definitely looking at an upper class establishment. So these people, engage in all sorts of business and, some modeling, You know, catalogs, swimsuits, all sorts of fun and exotic and interesting things that can only happen here in New York.
Well, he'll definitely, with no one in particular in mind, he'll try to see what these folks think is happening and going on with high society these days, just because he is interested in that kind of thing.
In that case, Joseph Chung, everything you imagine that Ventru do in their spare time, this is what's happening right now in your ears.
Well, Joseph's going to manage to fight off the urge to start snoring.
It's like sort of political agenda, United States President Cliff Benton, all of the drama that's happening abroad, the recent, natural disasters that have struck the Middle East, what's going to happen with the country, who's actually going to take the position of the United States if the president is actually fully impeached. Is the vice president capable of handling such a situation? It's good that, New York City managed to pull itself together after all of the natural disasters. It's great that, philanthropists were able to band together for a cool moment. And what's really nice, though, is that, such bad weather is bad for business, and it's all cleared up. But it's made for some interesting stories, interesting pieces. Journalists got some work going on, some captivating stories of a man somehow surviving this tornado descending upon him and the people uniting together after the mega blizzard that struck, and all across the eastern seaboard, business is picking back up. It's never been better than ever. And, oh, man, the political situation, it's just, our oil supply is going to be okay. Gas prices are continuing to rise. It's most unfortunate. Back in the day before China was consuming all of the oil, we used to have gas prices that were super cheap, but now everyone else...
Byron is entranced. Wow, exactly. Those frickin' communists stealing our oil. That's horrible. Sooner or later, he's going to change the subject. Joseph may or may not be around, but he's going to start talking about the establishment and say, I heard that there are all sorts of secret walls and stuff around here. Do you know anything about that?
Oh yeah, and Byron's gonna get demonstrations of that stuff. There'll inevitably be some woman who will be like, "Oh yeah, take a look at this," and he'll be showing this coat rack. You slide it 45 degrees to the right, and the entire wall just sort of glides open. You walk down this wooden staircase, and narrow passageways, and obviously, they've replaced the bar counter so that you can't, with one flip of a switch, destroy all the alcohol, but they still have in the preserve down there in the basement where they easily flip just like that, and there's still the grate down there with the funnel on the actual bar floor where all the alcohol would sluice, so that would disappear, so all the evidence would be destroyed, and the basement room where the sort of lockbox is kept, and that led to all of the basement alcohol and all those other situations. And oh my goodness, the communists, man, they keep taking the oil, all that industrialization, all the cheap imports are completely ruining the complete American identity. It's horrific.
Freaking NAFTA. Jeez. NAFTA didn't have any communists. But...
I don't know if
all
NAFTA
right,
didn't.
Well, that's how it goes.
Yep, that's how Byron's night goes. Morning. This is how Joseph's night and morning go.
If anything will unwittingly throw Joseph off the scent that anyone in the coterie is hiding something from him.
Fucking Byron, this is what he does. Shit.
This is what Byron does in his free time. Are you fucking kidding me?
How has he not killed himself?
How have I not killed him?
It would be a mercy to just throw him out to the sun. Meanwhile, David, what's going on in your life?
I'm still browsing for warehouses.
That's right. Marcus has arrived at his new, perhaps, home in this sort of seedy locale that he picked that wouldn't ask too many questions and that could be paid for in cash, and he wouldn't have to provide any identity. Looks better than the old apartment he used to have. That's because Marcus hasn't filled it with his things yet.
My guitar, my axe, my other synonym for guitar.
Yeah, there are a few windows, but there's at least a location where Marcus could sleep that wouldn't be exposed to light.
Which is all you really.
That's right. That's what's most important.
Making sure everything, looks fine. Does the water work?
The turning the spigot to unleash the water to test to see it. Testing out the cold one. The water that comes out is a rich cherry red.
Try the hot water instead.
That one's colored normally.
If I need to take a shower, I'll be using hot water.
If.
That's a pretty big if.
Marcus is, on occasion.
In regards to what other things that Marcus perceives with his senses, I mean, that's, of course, not exactly the most well-kept establishment. Door was a little creaky upon entering. Uh, Floorboards a little loose and bouncy. The corners look like they have contained many cobwebs in their day. Faint smell of disinfectant and cheap booze.
I could like this place.
And Marcus steps out of the bathroom, walks back into the living room, and the entire set of the living room looks just like how his childhood home used to.
So it looks like Hell's Kitchen.
It looks like your childhood home where you grew up, yeah.
Suddenly the apartment got even shittier.
When did I get on Manhattan? I thought I wasn't on a different island. Long Island.
Looking back at the bathroom, though, the bathroom didn't change. You look back at the living room. Living room looks like the living room for your childhood home. Look back at the bathroom. Bathroom's still the same. Back at the living room. Living room is... what?
Marcus is just gonna close his eyes and count to 10. Pinch himself a few times. Am I dreaming?
Still looks like your childhood home.
Well, I'll go in to touch something from my childhood home, like the painting on the wall.
Your childhood home had paintings?
I don't know, man.
With that, your hand does go through it, and it touches the wall behind, and there's a curious sense of disorienting as it's almost as if the image of where you used to live crumbles into ash and then dissipates on the netherwind, leaving you with your cheap sublet.
No, that's just mean. Gonna have to get used to this until I can get rid of it. I don't suppose, little girl, you know who killed you.
There's no response.
Can't blame a guy for trying.
I just love
Okay.
the image of that. I don't suppose, little girl, you know who killed you.
I mean, I'm in a room. I'm all alone, and all the only people who are hearing me are going to be like next door neighbors who are just as, if not more, illegal than me.
You're not alone now. You'll never be.
Guy likes his privacy.
Then you shouldn't have slept where I did.
Marcus is flabbergasted.
I think that's the appropriate response.
Like, he opens his mouth like, no, I can't say that. Like, no, I'm not going to say that one. I really need to get in contact with it, Giovanni.
Meanwhile, in Lower Manhattan, there's a Malkavian who's just like sort of let the obfuscate effect go because he's fallen asleep on someone's shoulder.
Well, thankfully, he doesn't actually have to worry about that. He can be bored to death, and it won't change anything.
He's still dead. Yeah, that's true. There aren't any heights here he has to worry about. Not any little kids. Joseph's great. There's a lot of loud noise and a lot of dancing, and people do a good job of making a little bubble for him because of the fact that they subconsciously realize that he's there, even if they consciously realize they don't. But it's still a crowded place. It's difficult to move, and following Byron just ends up exposing you to things that we've mentioned that you don't care about at all.
Yeah, it's boring, but eventually he's going to do something, and every time he goes anywhere near the bar, I get to just stand behind the bar.
Right. And Byron's gonna be here for hours, because Friday Night Ladies Night doesn't end until 4 a.m.
Well, Byron will probably leave before that, so he'll either find a girl to take home and feed off of there, or he's gonna go back to Astoria and hunt.
There's no need for a hunting role. I think after a few hours, Byron can certainly woo a lady with his vampiric prowess.
Hey, I hear there's an icebox with a secret door downstairs. Want to go see if we can find it?
Smooth.
I like how Marcus was flabbergasted. I've been flummoxed. I've been flummoxed. I don't know how to respond.
Those girls are pretty drunk at that point. I don't actually. On that note, how drunk did Byron get after taking 2 points from one of these girls?
Let's just say that he has managed to misplace 2 points of dexterity and intelligence.
Oh, okay, so he's got 0 intelligence. Oh, that's tough.
Joseph, you have witnessed a thing that you've seen many times before, as Byron, as you can only surmise, is eating this woman's soul before your eyes.
He's going to leave. If he's going to get drunk, then there's nothing important he's going to do.
That's when Byron makes the most important decisions of all.
When he's drunk.
Just let him eat her soul. It's not like she was using it.
Well, you can't throw a fit every time someone's soul get eaten. I mean, jeez.
Can't he?
No, not really. That would just take up too much effort. But he's going to go back to where he was before.
All right. And then Byron, after grabbing a bite, will manage to...
I think he probably calls up a Metro cab, and, it takes him, he might have presence of mind to not be dropped off right next to his haven. But, he'll be dropped off on the other side of the bridge, and he'll stagger home, I guess. I mean, I don't, with zero intelligence, I don't know how to work with that. So we're just going to say he sleeps it off till the next day.
That's perfectly fine. I can't function with no dots in intelligence. That doesn't even work.
You gotta find the moo-moos.
Right. So what does Marcus want to do? He's of course in his own reality where he's got plenty of hours of time.
What Marcus wants to do is get this little girl out of his head.
That sounded dirty.
And to do that, he's gonna go back to the Majestic. And he's going to comb over the place.
Well,
like a detective.
As it turns out, he's able to think clearer and easier once he's returned to the Majestic. What is Marcus looking for?
Anything that would connect this girl to this location.
Now, the roll can't be made for that. Marcus can definitely look for that, but that's going to be an impossible situation, sort of beyond his understanding. And with the ravages of time, the weather, and the squatting, and all the refuse, there's no way.
I have an idea.
All right.
Would aura perception work? Maybe her anchor has an aura. Other than that, that's what Marcus is going to do. He's going to spend the rest of probably the evening looking around here before dragging a mattress or whatever to his new place to sleep there.
So yeah, aura perception focuses on, I think, only like mortals and supernatural beings, not a theater.
Yeah, the third dot is what does that, but you already have to have the object you're looking at to use it.
Right. You've tried to spirit touch big objects before, like a car. I mean, the best thing that you would have to go for is the theater, which is a bit beyond the scope of the discipline, I think.
I was just thinking that maybe there would be, since it's something very important to the ghost, it would be like the physical thing that's keeping them here on their... I don't know.
It's theoretically possible that an object like that might be here. The problem is that Marcus has no idea what that object might be or look like at all. It could be the murder weapon that might be buried under a floorboard, on the second floor. It's impossible. It could be an old teddy bear or a beloved stuffed animal. It could be a talisman, like a crucifix she held to try to ward off bad thoughts and dreams as her throat was being sliced open. Marcus doesn't know what to look for.
You do know that she at least mentioned sleeping here once. It could be that sleep plays into this somehow.
Could always try to ask her.
I asked her if she knew who killed her, but then she didn't answer that. And then
Ask
immediately
better.
Okay. Like, how do I word this to a ghost?
Yo, bitch, I'm trying to help you here.
Who might have been a 6-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, if I go and ask her, like, what is holding you here on Earth, or if I maybe I can just ask her, why were you here in this theater? Guess nothing, huh?
We don't talk about that anymore.
Who's we? I'm the only other person here, as far as I know.
Right. You and me. We don't talk about that anymore.
Don't talk about why you're here?
I said we don't talk about it anymore.
Marcus will throw his hands up, exasperated, and be like, well, I'm here trying to help you, but guess you don't want to be helped.
But if you're gonna be a bitch about it...
No, you're not. You're here to leave. Just like they all do.
They?
They.
Who are they?
Them.
Can you describe them?
People who left. They were mean and hurtful. Just like you.
Okay. Never had kids, so I don't know how to deal with them.
Go to Giovanni, get a ghost lollipop, and give it to her. Maybe she can put that in her mouth and stop whining.
Ghost lolly.
Well, considering her mouth is now his mouth,
Gross.
Ghost lolly for two.
As I said before, Marcus is still going to just look through the Majestic and see if he can find anything. Even though I know I can't succeed, he's still going to do it.
That's fair.
And then he's going to, if there isn't a mattress already at his new place, he's going to somehow get a mattress there.
Alright, there's no need for a roll for that. Marcus can definitely somehow get a mattress there. The unsettling feeling will return whenever he leaves the Majestic. And Marcus will find himself having poor sleep again, as he's being interrupted not with giggling, but with unfortunate images of his past come back to flash in front of his eyes again.
Maybe I should have just taken the flashbacks flaw. That would have explained a lot.
Alright, well, with David searching and perhaps finding a locale that he could be satisfied with, Marcus trying to sleep away a little girl. That could have been phrased better. Inside a creepy rundown sublet. Joseph going back to his prior thing and finding out that that life is only marginally more exciting because at least he has a book. And Byron, being Byron.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's blackout at this point. He's not going to remember anything after that point.
That girl was so tasty. I like her.
He wakes up to find a literal foot sandwich.
How did I fall this way?
Good for her.
He's just got his foot inside of a bread bag.
Exactly.
Put inside the bread bag. I don't remember doing anything with this. I think that can constitute then the end of the night, and I think we can go ahead and end the session there as well. Dun dun dun.
Will Marcus figure out a way to deal with the children inside of him? Wait, children?
Gross.
There's more than one? Oh my gosh.
That is certainly a thing. Amount of things that were resolved in this chapter, perhaps zero.
How many problems have we gained? How many problems have we gained? At least one.
yeah, the amount of stuff we solved is in the negatives right now.
Negative solutions.
Hey, Byron is part of the way to getting a contact in City Hall. Maybe.
That's right. Byron did his part. I mean,
I mean,
certainly
David has someone partially bloodbound.
That's right. Yeah.
We just don't know where he is.
It's possible that he may have freaked out and might have chosen to stay at another locale.
I would almost. I was thinking at the time that I would have gone down the hall and seen if I could like knock on the door and awe the partner somehow. But you had ghost problems.
Oh, and we have gotten slightly closer to somehow finding the Giovanni to deal with the ghost problem.
Slightly closer, because somehow Marcus needs to find a way of getting involved in the vice trade. Maybe it's time for him to call up that really old friend that he hasn't been friends with for like 20 years. Can I score some heroin? He probably won't recognize him.
Well, you really haven't
Would
changed much
almost
in
be worse if
appearance,
he
yeah?
did.
I mean,
But I mean, here's the thing. That's not necessarily going to put you in contact with the Giovanni. Unless it came through JNA. I mean, it could put you in contact with the Sedites. Or, just a mortal drug trader.
This is not an early-ended session. This thing went about 5 hours. By how the standards of how our sessions usually go, perhaps early, but it's not the earliest one we've ever had.
This is actually how late you originally intended for these sessions to go.
Yeah.
That's right. I originally had cleared out the 3 to 8 5-hour block, and it just so happens that we have so much fun that we frequently dip into 9, 10.
I think one time we went to 11. Well, that was
11.
just us.
I think that was
I
just
don't
us
think-
bullshitting.
Yeah, there's usually an hour or 2 hours of bullshitting afterwards.
That's right.
I know the last time I came back on and I was like, what the fuck is everyone still doing here?
I know.
Yeah, you left for like 2 hours, you came back, we're still talking.
So important things we pulled from this session. I think one of the more important ones is booze.
Brian and Booge.
No, I mean, getting a booge.
Yeah, it's a combination between BJ and boobs. Come on.
Booge and Emelant.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
All right, girl, here's what you do. Well, what I want you to do before you go down on me, take this alcohol, put it in your mouth. Creates an amazing effect.
Ow is all I gotta say.
Not speaking from experience, but that sounds painful.
Some people enjoy that.
Some people also enjoy having their testicles stepped on. I'm not one of them.
That's what Jordan got from this session. All right, I suppose I have to ask, what is something that everyone will take away from this session?
Little kids are freaky.
Oh.
Children mean you harm.
I saw The Shining. I know little kids can be scary.
User in your channel timed out.
I guess Sean can't handle kids. Wait, no,
No,
Sean's here.
See, he was that fucking scared.
No, oh, it's Chris.
User was moved.
That's
to your
right.
channel.
Crimson was so scared.
Yeah, my connection's been going weird. I got kicked off the Twitch chat too just the last half hour, so I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I think it's just a general disconnection thing with Twitch. It's going really badly, and I got kicked from the server earlier, so it's not that big of a deal.
That's right, Crimson. What is something that you took from this session, good or bad?
Oh, Byron's just not as awesome at getting through bouncers as he thought. The first time, that was cool, but man, when there's a line involved, dang it, pressure's on. He's just not a clutch player, apparently.
Only thing he can do clutch is, kill a giant snowman and then blow off someone's face with a bodge.
Yeah, and this time that was with the luck roll. This time he had no luck. So, except for the line moving fast. But that was storyteller granted luck. It's not the same thing.
It's just not the same.
Just not the same, man.
But I was thinking all the whole time that you have that little girl ghost inside of you, Jordan. I was saying, man, if that were Byron, I just don't. I don't know what would happen. He'd like play patty cake with her or something. It would be the dumbest thing. I'm so glad it's you and not me.
Yes, you're so glad it's me dealing with a. I've dealt with 6-year-old children before. They act exactly like this, except this is a freaky one with a cut in their neck and has the power to make me see things.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
any
And do
6-year-old
things.
child.
I
Yes,
mean,
it's like any 6-year-old child.
I mean, when you were viciously and brutally murdered by having your throat slit open, and you've had several dozen years to dwell on that fact, after perhaps you were abandoned by everyone, because you're dead, might impact you in negative ways.
That's a nice little bit of passive aggression. Because you're dead. God.
I'm glad I'm accurately portraying a 6-year-old.
Yeah, that is pretty accurate.
They're at the stage of development where they are pretty egocentric.
Actually, they're a couple years past the egocentric stage.
Eh,
That's why the terrible twos are so terrible.
they're still pretty egocentric compared to later.
Yeah, well, 6-year-old girls actually, my family's kind of lousy with them right now. It's that's actually when I can start dealing with them. And they get up to being like 10 or 12, and nope, no more. But that 6 to 8 range, they're easily impressed, and they don't whine as much as when they're 4 or 5. Now, little boys, just I don't know, give them a stick, tell them to hit something, keep them busy.
See, my nieces and nephews are nerds. They love video games. They will sit down and play them with me for hours. It is fantastic.
My nieces and nephews live. My nieces and nephews aren't nerds, and my niece is a ballerina, so I have nothing to talk to her about, but I have to deal with that. And my nephew is really into dinosaurs, so I have something we can talk about. But I really don't have anything we can do that involves dinosaurs, so it's a little bit weird.
I'm not an uncle. All I do is volunteer my time working with and helping children. But I don't have to deal with that family pressure. Woo-hoo.
I like babysitting.
Yeah, I tried that once when I was a teenager for the neighbors. I think I was like 15 or 16, and I guess the kid was 7 or 8, and he wanted me to hold his hand while he was going to the bathroom. All right, and I said no, and that was the last time I babysat for that family or anyone else. I was like, no, I'm not holding your hand while you pee in the toilet. That's where I draw the line.
Marcus is going to feel uncontrollable urges to watch Blue's Clues. I don't think so.
Was Blue's Clues on in 1998?
In the world
Maybe.
of darkness.
What would she have done when she was dead, assuming she died like in the 50s or something? Because that's probably about when.
I mean, we don't actually have anything to go on as far as
Yeah, when or
when she died.
anything. I was just guessing, really. I mean, the place has been burned down for a while, and she probably died before that.
We don't know that.
I don't know.
Just might have been an unsolved cold case that apparently just maybe records of it were lost somewhere. Regardless, what matters is that Marcus has a voice in his head who apparently has powers of not only just making him see shit, but making other people see shit near him too.
So there's only one of us without voices in our heads now.
Oh
That
god.
you know of.
Byron feels strange compulsions to stick his foot in a loaf of bread.
There you go.
It grows to frankly fetishistic levels.
That's right. I know, not much in the way of you guys like, hey, oh my god, we took care of a major arc, but on the flip side, hey, shit's not falling apart all around us unless we're Marcus.
Or unless you care about the Nosferatu situation.
David's the only one who cares about the Nosferatu situation, because he's the only one out of a dozen people now who know.
Yeah, if you mention it to anyone, someone else might care. Now, I'm not saying Byron would. He might say he does, though.
No, the Niktuku is secret.
Oh, I just meant, of course.
Keep
But,
it
I
secret.
mean,
On the flip side, they're the ones who the Niktuku would be the most apt to leave alive, because the Niktuku wouldn't care about them.
That's kind of why David is hoping to bunk with Marcus.
Yes.
Having a roommate who is also not a part of Clan Nosferatu.
Yes, you're gonna bunk with the pretty one. We're going to be setting standards. A new sitcom.
Who's apparently haunted by a ghost.
Yeah,
can be haunted
whatever. We've
together.
all got voices.
the modern World of Darkness version of Three's Company.
What about Volo?
yeah, well,
I mean, we got a little ghost. Got a little ghost girl. We got Margaret the Toreador, David
I can see it
the
now.
Nosferatu, and then Volo.
I can see it now. A disfigured crime fighter by night and possessed by an ancient evil. With his friend, the subtly drunk punk rocker that happens to have been befriended by a ghost.
No,
See
who
what you
is
get up to
possessed by an ancient evil. The twist for both of them is the same twist in a different way.
When these ancient evils collide.
They will make cookies.
When ancient evils collide, can they make this non-standard family work?
ABC presents the new summer hit series.
Four is a crowd.
I really
I'm
can't
actually-
imagine them making cookies.
I actually have to go off and do other things.
Well, there you go, folks. I guess it's a good thing that the session ended after 5 hours.
People might.
But I didn't get to say what I learned.
Well, that's right. It just won't be broadcast live. That's only secret footage they'll have to discover in the podcast.
Secret footage time.
That's right. Secret footage time.
I
So,
learned that much like giving a cop nightmares, it can scare a cop shitless to wake up with their chain snapped and a mouthful of blood.
yeah, just because it wasn't in his mouth anymore doesn't mean he still couldn't taste it. Be like, the fuck, did I bleed over myself? No. Over my clothes? No. Why is my chain snapped? The
All right,
fuck?
I'll see you guys later.
Bye,
Next
Jordan.
week.
Bye.
And hopefully, I'll figure something out about this ghost thing before then. Hopefully.
Might be a good thing to discuss.
Nah.
Yeah.
User
And here's another
disconnected from your
question.
channel.
Now, this is something I don't know. Do you know that you've been chloroformed? I mean, do you have like a residue or, smell in your mouth or something?
Yeah, you get a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, yeah, but he's already got the blood in his mouth, so, I mean, blood and chloroform. I wonder if you can distinguish those two.
Yeah.
Not unless he's been chloroformed a lot before.
Yeah. Possible. I don't know whether that would show up in any sort of like a tox screen that might be done. Probably not something they would normally test for anyway. It'd just kind of be like, hey, I woke up with a mouthful of blood and the door chain broken, and I swear my gun was moved. Help.
To be fair, he was also, rolled over, so...
Well, that in itself is not anything, I don't think, unless he knows that he never moves when he sleeps.
No, I mean, that might have been what moved the gun.
That's true, yeah.
True facts.
That's right. So that's what Aaron learned. What did you others learn? Oh my god.
Joseph learned he's better at getting into clubs than
Getting out
Getting
of
out in
office.
the venture.
Yeah.
He's better at getting in clubs than getting out of elevators.
Yeah. A lot better.
Oh.
I was kind of hoping, and I almost want to retcon it, that you got there at the end of just Byron's fail train getting in. That would just be hilarious in my head.
I thought about it, but I was like, nah. The traffic wouldn't have been that good for him on a Friday night. He wouldn't have arrived then.
Well, he may not know the details, but I mean, you're a vampire and you're standing at the back of the line. You fuck something up.
Yeah, because you know Byron well enough that you're sure Byron would just walk straight ahead and try to, verbally force his way in, because that's what he's done every other time. So it's not hard to imagine.
Verbally, I ask, rolling my eyes. You just punch a guy in the mouth.
No, option B, like you said before, just punch him all in the dick.
I mean, what can they do then?
Punch
If you're
him.
fully blood buffed and you just, bam!
Fully blood buff.
Explode.
I don't know if they're ever having kids or walking straight again. I mean,
You're at strength 6 when you're fully blood buffed.
I know. I think you'd break their pelvis if you actually went all out and tried to punch
You just
them in the-
drop to one knee and then push up as you uppercut.
I think that committing cold-blooded murder to get into a club, I think that would be one or two drops of humanity right there.
You lift them 3 feet into the air by the groin.
You're letting me in now.
You hear a crack pop.
That's true. I could have dread gazed them and just made them run away. All right, I'm getting in now.
Bitches better step off. That's all you're saying.
That video of this crazy guy, in front of a club scaring off everyone becomes viral.
That's not a breach of the Masquerade.
It's a good thing the YouTubes don't exist yet. Viral only means so much in 1998.
Yeah, I was trying to remember when YouTube actually got big, and I think that was what
That just
2003 or
means
4?
it'll have to be covered extensively on television by news broadcasters. Damn.
Yeah, but no one watches the news before 2001. That's when 24-hour news networks exploded, and everything had to be news all the time.
Yeah, see, well, you can call it news if you want. I think, well, that's a digression. The whole 24/7 news cycle, I think, has diluted actual news considerably.
It has. It's turned it into a spectacle. It's entertainment. But yeah, that is a different discussion.
Good times. All of your characters will earn 2 experience points, but since you guys are going to want to pick up immediately to continue the progression, since they're still the same dangling threads, no time for experience spending, no learning, just a nice, peaceful, slow week with, except for Marcus.
Sounds good. Oh, quick question, and I'm not going to train, obviously, but so how many days left or weeks left is there on the Auspex training? Since we've been doing all that stuff, it would be tomorrow would be a month, but since we've been busy, I guess maybe a week longer or something.
Yeah, I mean, since you wouldn't be able to spend experience points again anyway due to the constant reflection, we'll say definitely after next session.
Yeah, I mean, sounds fair.
Yeah. I don't actually have anything to do in character until something new happens either on the detective/warehouse front or something new happens in general. Though I guess I should start looking into internal affairs. Yeah, okay, there's definitely stuff to do. Lots of stuff to do.
I don't know about I mean, I mean, if you guys want to open up more threads, that's certainly your call.
Well, I mean, we're trying to open up all these police and city hall threads in order to really seal up our domain. Because we realized how fragile it was when losing a single person lost us 3 dots of security.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying that it just with all these unresolved issues, it just all wafts out there.
Yeah, but, I mean, like I said, David's mostly waiting on 2 of them, and he's not really involved in the other ones. Per se.
I mean, you're the one guy that has the power to end this story. Like next time, just got to go and take care of Marlena one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if David was really willing to just fix everything from his perspective, he could do something along the lines of tell the stone, okay, first give me enough power to kill the Niktuku, and then go from there.
The stone would probably tell David that it is beyond the scope of its power.
No, fuck you, give me the power to kill the Niktuku.
Yeah, either that or
I just gotta be smart about it.
either that, or it would make you powerful enough to kill a Nick Tuku, and you would have a second character become an NPC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from David's perspective, he doesn't need to be more powerful than the Niktuku to be powerful enough to kill the Niktuku. He needs to be powerful enough to, combined with his smarts, kill the Niktuku. From his perspective again.
Makes sense to me. And from his basement cot, drooling, Byron agrees with you. We're just going to say that even vampires, when at intelligence 0, they drool. But no, it should be interesting because 2 weeks ago, it seemed to me like, okay, the story was wrapping up. We're down to 2 Prince candidates. All we got to do is sort this out, no problem. And then tentacles happened, and then Sub-a-Lot happened to David. And now ghosts are happening, and Vargas is dead. It's like, damn it.
The city never sleeps.
Yeah, the
I
only thing
just
that's
fucking love the Big Apple.
the only thing that sleeps are the ancient things underneath it, slumbering, waiting to devour soul.
That's right. The only thing that sleeps is a Mitzi.
Yeah.
Zimitzi sleeps.
A new children's book.
What has risen may fall, and what has fallen may yet rise again. That's the tagline that goes with everything involving the God Machine.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah. Oh goodness. The other reason why I had to end it after 5 hours. I'm pretty worn down. Today wasn't a good day, but we still managed to have fun somehow. Maybe.
Yeah, you seem, the first few minutes, you seem pretty tired or worn out or something, definitely.
I'm a big partier. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, it was Friday night. You're probably out till 5, 6 a.m.
Yeah, and I had a walk of shame and everything. I'm sure. If only I remembered it.
I actually slept great last night.
Like a babby.
When there are storms going on, it just lulls me straight to sleep.
It's great that in times of crisis your body can recover.
In times of crisis, my body's like, oh cool, so we're finally safe.
Not like anyone else is gonna fucking try to break into my house and murder me whenever it's storming like this outside.
But yeah, rain, specifically the rain and thunder, they just, boom. I slept like 9 hours, woke up 8 a.m. completely refreshed.
Maybe David should try some rain therapy.
Maybe David should just tear that stone out of his chest. That'd probably fix up his sleeping all right.
Yeah. But what if it doesn't? Dun dun dun.
And also, you have to, I mean, was it a veiled threat or just totally out there that if you do that, then Sevlot is going to destroy your family? I thought that was a threat.
No, the threat was if I tell anyone, he'll do that.
That's right. You know, if you somehow find a way to bypass the compulsion through doing whatever, you're going to wish that the end result would be your final death.
Ah, now I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything else was implied. Or at least inferred.
Yeah, true. Probably ripping the stone out of your chest, that would be interesting. It would be a good experimental result for someone.
Oh, and it'd make me sleep like a baby.
A little Snitsy Dabby, how cute.
Yeah, that would bring a pleasant end to the experiment. What would not be tolerable is if the experiment went and tattled on Sevlon. That'd just be rude.
You're rude.
You know, Joseph would help you tear that out.
Yeah,
All you have to do is let him know, man.
That
David's
might be one
tried.
soul he wouldn't mind eating.
oh, so do I get a point of willpower back, or... Nah.
Yeah. You get a point of willpower back.
Cool.
Yeah, man, if Byron is ever going to get a point of willpower back, he's going to have to thwart someone's agenda. And I've had no luck with that so far. I don't even know where to begin.
You keep eating all those foot sandwiches whenever you try.
I mean,
Well,
I suppose you could always make an argument that, yeah, you've thwarted plenty of agenda.
But no,
yeah, but it's got to be intentional, and you've got to benefit. I mean, I don't think Byron thwarting people by accident, and it doesn't really help him that much in the long run. Really qualifies.
I think it's mildly ironic that it seems like the idealist has gotten the most willpower back from their nature over the course of this game.
Yeah, I thought it would be pretty easy.
Actually, no, sorry, the rogue did.
The what did?
The rogue, Jermaine. Jermaine got
yes,
back more
yes.
willpower than everyone else combined.
Yeah, and I thought that Ventrue with the conniving nature would be a shoo-in to get 1 or 2 willpower back at some point. But
You'd think, but...
well, see, the problem is even when I'm trying to think when I could have actually turned it around and double-crossed somebody, and part of the problem is that the main people I can double-cross are my coterie, which, yeah, okay, but that's Byron isn't going to do that. Another one would have been had we been able to somehow thwart Jermaine getting the commissioner. I would have asked for a willpower back there. Even if we'd gotten, say, a high-up IA guy that oversaw the commissioner, that's why I brought it up last time, I would have called that somehow subverting what Jermaine et al. Wanted. But, Byron isn't really ready to go off and piss off the rest of his coterie just yet.
And that's why you will always be a failure.
Possibly. Although if, seriously, if Sean had taken Joseph to that pub and he had tried to, even if we'd gotten, say, a high-up IA guy that oversaw the commissioner, that's why I brought it up last time, I would have called that somehow subverting what Jermaine et al. Wanted. But, if he had tried to ghoul that guy Edward before Byron did, yeah, that would have Byron would have been pissed. He's like, all right, what the fuck?
Well, the thing, okay, a little bit more knowledge. Joseph has no idea beyond that the Lucky Ace was known about. That's the extent of his knowledge on that. He knows that it was interesting someone, and he didn't even know who it was in the coterie. The only reason he now knows, obviously, is because Byron was there.
I gotcha. Yeah, is this one of those Malkavian things, perks that happened?
No, he's still waiting on the third thought. He still has to break at least one more person's mind before he gets that.
You could technically call this a Malkavian thing. Sure.
Well, a Malkavian did it, but no, this is more of a Ventru thing. At least I'd say so.
Okay, whatever. I'm in the dark. I won't dig too much deeper.
Good, because we're not even giving you a shovel.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to dig with my hands. It's a hard-packed, probably like granite at this point. So I just, I end up hurting myself. It's all
At least David knows how to make his own shovel.
There any other questions you guys have, or thoughts, or comments, or things you wanted to say?
Nope.
Has David found a suitable warehouse by the end of that second night?
Sure.
Cool.
Right. David knows what he wants and what he's looking for.
Pretty much.
So are you just going to move in, or are you going to contact Elvin? I've just been batting.
Well, he's got to scope the place for 2 weeks first before he can make sure that it might be okay for him to stay in for one night.
He's got to scope place out for a while, yes. And he's also got to see if he can rig the electric and other utility lines in much the same way that he did his subway, which is going to be harder if the place doesn't have direct maintenance access. Which is one reason why the subway station was such a perfect place. Aside from the whole Nick Tugu thing.
You know what I mean.
Well, depending where it is, I mean, if it's a lot of, you could probably find one that's really close to, say, a transfer station that just deals with that warehouse area or that type of thing. So it might not be too hard.
We'll see.
Yeah, heck if I know.
Heck if I know.
But yeah, basically David needs to figure out if he can splice in some utilities from the city without them noticing.
I'm sure people steal those things all the time. It's probably not going to ever be noticed at all, ever.
I mean, they actually kind of do. Especially, I assume, in the world of darkness.
That's right, chaos.
Yeah, what was it? There was some weird thing like you pour salt water on the meter and that stops it or keeps it. There was some weird thing, and I never really paid that much attention. I had no intent of doing it. But you can do that to your own power thing to stop the meter from running. You do something like that. They fixed it now, but like 10, 15 years ago, I think you can still do it.
And on that ancient shady note, I think we're done here.